what is the Doomer cycle? Let's talk about that. Hello, Thunderhawk Coaching here. Today we're going to talk about the Doomer cycle, something you may or may not be aware of. I'm Will, I'm a mental health coach from the UK, and today we're going to look at the Doomer cycle. So, the Doomer cycle I'm defining it as a pattern of thought that leads people to feel hopeless and despair. I think this is a really important thing to talk about in the world we live in right now, because I think there are a lot of NEETs, don't know if you heard of those guys, not in employment, education or training, that are stuck. They aren't moving, they aren't doing anything, and the Doomer cycle is part of what describes their experience. It kind of tells into some other things I've been thinking about recently, but a big challenge for the Doomer cycle, before I outline it, is the lack of social connectivity, in my opinion. It's really hard to feel hope when a lot of your fundamental needs are not met, and believe it or not, regardless of how introvert you think you are, you do kind of need people. We all need people. I need people. I used to think I was an introvert. Surprise, surprise, I am not. I am definitely an extrovert. But anyway, the Doomer cycle often begins with having a degree of hope. Hope of doing something. Hope of an aspiration to go and enjoy something at some point. It could be that you want to get strong in the gym. It could be that you want to top the leaderboards in your preferred competitive activity. Or just do really well in video games. For me, I wanted to get a maxed out account on RuneScape. But I don't play RuneScape anymore, so that is not a goal I have achieved. But you have a goal, right? You have a goal. You're like, that's a cool goal. I want to do that. So then you think about how you might do it. Or you don't even get that far. But you might initially think, how am I going to do that? And then you think about all the really overwhelming, challenging parts you can't even compute. So you might even just run into one thing. So let's say you want to get a job, right? Getting a job in the current environment is really tough. So you boot up your job app of choice, Indeed over here in the UK, or LinkedIn or whatever, and you look through the job openings and you go, what am I interested in? Maybe I want to work in video games. Maybe I want to make a video game, right? So you type in video game designer, 0 results. Boom, you feel hopeless, right? So then you go, okay, maybe I Google how to become a video game designer. Okay. So you need to probably go and get either substantial portfolio experience or get a degree of substantial portfolio experience. You'll probably need to learn certain softwares. You'll probably need to learn to design games specifically, how to code. Probably if you're going to be designing characters or environments, probably 3D modeling. There are lots of different jobs in the game industry, right? So you look these up, and then you're like, oh wow, I need to learn how to program a whole language. I need to learn C#. What's C#, right? Bam, you get hopeless. If you get this far, you're resilient. You're pretty resilient at this point, right? But you feel, oh no, that's a lot. How do I even do that, right? Or maybe you'd be like, yeah, man, maybe I'll work towards that, but you don't concretely take any steps. And then you go, I'm going to go and do that. And then time passes. And a day goes by, and a week goes by, and a month goes by, and 3 months goes by, and 6 months goes by, and a year goes by. And every extra day, you're feeling the weight of that expectation of the thing you picked, or you don't even have a thing you picked, you wanted to do. And this constant weight of expectation of moving forward and doing something, being expected to hit those old school life goals. It might just be finding a partner, it might be having a kid, it might be buying a house, it might be getting a certain job. Any of these things really begin the downward spiral of the Doomer cycle, right? So a lot of people try initially, optimistically out of college or out of school or whatever, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do something. And then they just run into these roadblocks. They find things are way harder than they expected, and their hope is crushed into hopeless despair. And then we're in the doomer cycle, where we think about the thing we care about and we want to do, and then we come up with a lot of reasons as to why we can't do them. And, a lot of them are valid, but crushes our ability to feel like we can make a life for ourselves, whatever that looks like, right? Whether that's being a stay-at-home parent, or whether that's ever moving out of your parents' house. That's freaking hard now, man. It's hard to move out of your parents' house. It's expensive. A lot of my friends my age live with their parents. Nothing wrong with that, because the economy sucks, okay? I don't live with my parents. Feel crazy privileged not to, but I don't own a house. So you've got all of these milestones that you feel like you should hit, right? If you're in your 20s, a lot of expectation is that you start a family, you get together with somebody, you get a high-paid job or something, have a few kids, buy a house. The reality is that most of us don't get to do that now at those times, right? I personally hit some of those. I have a partner, I have a wife, thankfully. That's great. I don't live with my parents, but I don't own a house. And I'm, building a career, but I'm not at the end of my career. I think I still have a long way to go until I'm absolutely kind of at that stable peak that I'd probably like to be. But that's the challenge, right? Keeping hope in that, and the doomer cycle is kind of like, I want to do this, I can't do this because it's hard and it's not an immediate reward, so hopeless. I'm going to try this, the problem is still there, I can't do it, it's hard, hopeless. Avoid, suppress. Play your video games, scroll Instagram, do anything but think about the thing that actually really matters to you, so you think. And this doomer cycle can persist for a very long time, for whole lives for some people. There are many people who live in this doomer cycle forever. So you may be asking, Will, what do I do about this doomer cycle? I don't want to be in this doomer cycle. What do I do? You talk. First of all, you need to talk. You need to talk to somebody. A therapist, a coach like me, or another coach that will listen to you and help you explore these things. But doing things is hard when you have all of these little hopeless blocks we talked about, right? And you get stuck in the doomer cycle, and then you stop doing anything. And that can happen for years and years and years and your whole life. So you don't need to change everything today, but you do need to start talking about it. You need to build a safe relationship where you can explore who you are, what you care about, and nothing's off limits in terms of what you can talk about. There should be boundaries in a professional relationship between your therapist and your coach. You shouldn't be spamming them all the time, but you should be able to talk about most things within, there are legal restrictions for what therapists in the UK anyway have to report. Same for most countries, I believe. But you need to talk about what's in your head, what you're interested in, what you're struggling with, where you are. You need to feel supported, because we need each other. And the reality is, for a lot of the boomers that have got these jobs, they got their own leg up, man, because it was a different environment. They built those relationships. They were lucky to know the right person who knew the right person who got them into the right job, right? A lot of us don't have that. And with this increasing scarcity of employment, it's harder to build the life that we want for ourselves because we have fewer resources. So be aware of the doomer cycle, my friends, for it can claim us all. I've individually been in the doomer cycle for many years myself when it comes to making anything. So I'm speaking from experience here. But that's where I'm going to leave today's video. You've been wonderful. I've been Will, Thunderhawk Coaching forever. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.